Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Oh, the look on their faces. Reality is finally starting to set in. You know, a lot of times I'll be covering the current polling data or what's going on in court, and I'll describe it as the Democrats' worst nightmare, or a nightmare scenario, or maybe I'll say something like it's worst case scenario. Usually it's me saying that, but this time, it's them. I think they've finally realized that the jig is up. Everything they've done, their massive election interference racket, is about to fully backfire, and the reaction, or the leftist tears in the media, well, it's the stuff I live for. So if anybody's parched, if anyone's thirsty, I got some leftist tears for you. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so I guess it isn't happening. I guess it's likely that the orange man won't be in an orange jumpsuit. Leftoids are preparing for worst case scenario.
Look, I think that it's very likely this is the only trial that we are going to get before Election Day. And this case is not a slam dunk, which means that Donald Trump may very well not be convicted. Acquitted is the worst case scenario for Democrats because then it's the only trial you have.
That's Sarah Murray of CNN, warning that Donald Trump is most likely on a path towards acquittal. It's funny because when this whole thing started, all of these cases were slam dunk cases. At least that's the way they were reporting on it. My fake electors, my Stormy Daniels, my documents. It wasn't even a question. Donald Trump was guilty. Donald Trump did the thing. He did it. And if he didn't do it, well, why would the justice system be going after him? But now I guess it's not a slam dunk case. They're preparing their viewers for disaster and disappointment because, I mean, that's what's likely to come. This case isn't going anywhere. This case never had wheels. How can something with no wheels move forward at a fast enough pace to get to the finish line? It's not going to happen. Unless the jury was purposely stacked with 12 vehement Trump haters, like everybody on the jury has pink and blue hair, there's just no way. There has been too much evidence presented in court that has completely decimated Alvin Bragg's case. The entire premise of the case is that Donald Trump was the one who orchestrated the whole thing. But as we learned back in early May, Trump comptroller Jeff McConney testified in court that he was the one who instructed the accounting department to classify the payments as legal expenses, and that he did that based on how Michael Cohen worded his invoices. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Michael Avenatti also tweeted in early May that Keith Davidson was lying after he confronted her with her own text messages. Stormy Daniels admitted to him back in early 2019 that she and Davidson had extorted Donald Trump in 2016, that it was a total shakedown. He claims that as the main reason why he fired Stormy Daniels as his client back in February of 2019. Then of course we have the January 30th, 2018 official statement from Stormy Daniels where she denies the affair because it, quote, never happened. We have Michael Cohen's own former legal counsel, Mr. Costello, who testified multiple times that Michael Cohen is not to be trusted, that he acted on his own behalf because he was seeking a position in the Trump White House. We have Stormy Daniels' inconsistent testimony where she claimed on the stand in court that Trump essentially forced her. He blocked her from leaving the room and forced himself upon her. She claimed that she blacked out during the ordeal, even though she said this on Bill Maher's show.
Let me show you a little video. This is when I had Stormy on in 2018, and first I asked her why she had sex with Trump. Listen to that, and then listen to what she says after that, and then we're going to talk about the trial, because it's quite at variance of what she said to me in 2018. Why did you Donald Trump?
I have no idea.
Okay, but you say it's not a Me Too case.
It is not a Me Too case. I mean, I wasn't assaulted. I wasn't attacked or coerced or blackmailed. They tried to shove me in the Me Too box to further their own agenda. And first of all, I didn't want any part of that because it's not the truth, and I'm not a victim in that regard.
That's not what she's saying now. She's talking about he was bigger and blocking the way. It's all the Me Too buzzwords. She said there was a power imbalance of power, for sure. My hands were shaking so hard. She said she blacked out. Blacked out? She's a porn star.
And on top of all of it, during Michael Cohen's testimony, he lied multiple times, straight up perjuring himself. Not exactly surprising considering he's a literal convicted perjurer. Knowing all of this, after everything that's transpired, I mean, obviously it's not a slam dunk case. CNN is preparing for the worst. This case has always been a sham. It's been a sham since day one. They've attempted to portray it as legitimate simply because they can't stand Donald Trump. And now finally it seems like the chickens are coming home home to roost, and a possible acquittal is coming. If one person on the jury decides not to go with this complete sham case, it's over. And the likelihood of that happening, I'd say, is pretty high. In fact, Fox News is already talking about an Allen charge.
Some variation of a federal campaign finance violation, which, by the way, Bragg doesn't have authority to enforce. But I think the notion that they don't have to be unanimous on that is, that may be the 12th reason why this case should be thrown out.
And Trey, quickly, if they aren't unanimous, if there's a holdout or two, will the judge send them back? What is an Allen charge? Do you think that may come into play here?
It's essentially go back and I'm going to keep you held hostage until you reach a verdict. They're actually frowned upon. Now we have what's called a modified Allen charge. But look, nobody wants to spend weeks and months and get a hung jury. So the judge is going to say, go back and reconsider your position. But I haven't seen Allen charges work that often. And my prediction is a hung jury. For some of the reasons Andy laid out, I still don't know what that other crime is. So how can you defend yourself if you don't know what the other crime is?
An Allen charge is when jurors cannot agree on a verdict or report this to a judge, and so the judge may issue further instruction to them to encourage those in the minority to reconsider their position. Oh, well, that's going to play out just great. That's going to look great. This highly partisan judge, Mr. Juan Merchan, constantly sending the jury back, hoping that they'll somehow miraculously at one point emerge with a fully unanimous guilty verdict. There's many possible outcomes here, none of them good for the current regime. CNN mentions a Trump acquittal as the worst case scenario if you're a Democrat, but I'd argue any scenario is worst case scenario. If the judge presiding this case uses the Allen charge, it's going to be perceived as horribly partisan. And if they convict Donald Trump, it's going to be a huge victory for him. Trump's team seems ready and prepared for this. They seem to think that if Donald Trump gets convicted and sent to prison, he's going to win in a landslide.
And that's what they wanted, because the judge in this case and the prosecutors know that they'll never publicly admit, if they jail Donald Trump, he's going to win overnight. Mm-hmm. If Donald Trump is found guilty, which because it's a rigged system, there's a likelihood that he might, they're going to have to allow Donald Trump to stay out on bond while he appeals this bogus trial. Otherwise, this country is going to go nuts.
Well, Trump got the...
No matter what they do, they have stained the legal system. They've made Donald Trump a martyr. And I think that reality is finally starting to set in. I mean, the look on their faces. Honestly, I wish I had some godlike ability to see the look on your average CNN viewer's face. I have a friend that I play golf with in the winters, and he's always telling me how Trump's gonna go to prison. He keeps telling me, oh, just you wait, it's coming. Oh, bless his soul. I don't think their long-awaited day is coming. It's time to prepare for the worst. I don't think Trump's going to prison. I got this feeling he's headed straight back to the White House. Cue the election meltdowns. But I guess, of course, we'll have to see exactly what happens. The verdict should be dropping pretty soon here. I'll keep you guys updated on all of it. That's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.